Guys, welcome back to a fresh episode of this TEW 2020 Impact Wrestling save. I hope you guys enjoyed Bound for Glory. This is, of course, the first Impact Wrestling after Bound for Glory. And a lot happened at Bound for Glory, so if you didn't see that episode, please check it out. And yeah, let's just get into the show. 17 segments, 115 minutes, so we're just about hitting that minimum time we need to fill. But let's get into it. So, Josh Matthews and Don Callis recap what happened at Bound for Glory, covering, EC3's title win, Lio Rush's debut alongside Chris Bey, and of course Donna Purrazzo retaining the Knockouts Championship. 43-minute segment, so not bad. 35, not a great start. Lio Rush and Swinger are both struggling off the script. So Rush and Bey come out to the ring without Swinger and cut a bit of a promo about how, the Rascals and the Impact fans, they didn't see that coming. They didn't see Lio Rush, the man of the hour, debuting at Bound for Glory. But, him and Chris Bey know each other and they're going to be aligned and they're going to run the X Division and eventually run all of Impact Wrestling. Swinger comes out, tries to sort of get involved, tries to sort of join, re-cement himself in what is now a trio. Doesn't happen, but Lio Rush tells him there's one way he can join, and that's if he beats Lio Rush in a match right now. So then we'll move into that match. If you guys have suggestions for names for Lio Rush and Chris Bey as a tag team, or as a duo, let me know in the comments down below. 28, not a great match. And Lio Rush sustained a broken leg. Huh. Okay. Well, anyway, Lio Rush gets a 47 in his debut match, a very, very good rating, and Johnny Swinger gets a 23. Man, Lio Rush broke his leg in his very debut match for Impact Wrestling. That is such bad luck. Yes, I can see that. Afterwards, Lio Rush, still wandering around with his broken leg. Him and Chris Bey begin to lay out Johnny Swinger. Then the Rascals arrive down the ramp, chasing off Chris Bey and Lio Rush. Swinger gets up, tries to then he just immediately tries to join the Rascals. He tries to he's doing all of the hand signals and stuff. He's trying to be a Rascal, and they just don't have it. They leave him in the ring. So Johnny Swinger has not turned face. He has not had a big character change. He's just still sneaky, still a slithery kind of guy, and he's still a heel. It just happens that Chris Bey realized he outgrew Johnny Swinger, so he got Lio Rush in. And then we have Moose having another match against Tommy Dreamer. Thankfully, nobody's injured in this one. They only get a 29 though, as Moose wins in 3 minutes 37 with the Game Breaker. As Moose gets a 49, Tommy Dreamer 37. We should probably use Dreamer more, given his decent rating there. But yeah, it's a very aggressive Moose match because again, he's lost again in a big match, and we're just trying to build him back up and battle through Tommy Dreamer, destroy Tommy Dreamer, dominate him. Then Moose just, he's causing a ruckus at ringside. He's getting in people's faces, shoving around referees, beating on Dreamer again, and then Sami Callihan's music hits. And Callihan sort of wanders down to the ramp and just takes the mick out of Moose, saying that it was him that had to set RVD straight, and maybe it's time that he set the delusional Moose straight, which just sets Moose off even more. And then the segment will end after Callihan has finished insulting him. 56 segment, pretty good. Callihan is the most over person in the company, for those of you that haven't seen the sort of post-Bound for Glory booking plan episode. Don Callis has a big conversation with Chris Sabin, where he admits that Alex Shelley is again not here tonight. In kayfabe, in what Don Callis will say is that Alex Shelley is injured. Um, but really what happened was, again, he's at a Ring of Honor. And I just didn't realize because we've had him every other week. So at some point, Ring of Honor have leaped over us. They've either just recently offered Alex Shelley a deal, or they've jumped us in the rankings. Because now Alex Shelley prefers being on Impact Wrestling. Because as you've seen, if you've been watching the series, Alex Shelley is on Impact Wrestling most weeks. We have him; he's available. So something has changed in the build-up, and Don Callis says that they're not putting this match anywhere back. He doesn't care if Shelley's injured, although I have offered him an exclusive contract now, so that we'll have Shelley every week. Sabin will defend the belt tonight, so he may find himself a partner, or he goes out there alone. 52 rated segment. I think it's pretty good. Don't worry, all you Guns fans. We are not building up a Shelley Sabin feud. This is not a sign of like Sabin has to go out there and do it constantly by himself, and Shelley's not been there twice now. It's just me not realizing that he was at Ring of Honor. Next segment, Don Callis arrives back on the announce table as him and Josh Matthews are joined by Deonna Purrazzo as they hype up all the big name contenders competing in the Knockouts #1 contenders Battle Royale. They of course list off Susie, Kylie Ray, former Knockouts champions like Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary, and of course Tennille Dashwood. 33 not a bad segment. Hopefully the match does well. The match got a 39. Subpar Wrestling, as we'll run you through it a wee bit here. As you can see, it features Alicia Edwards, Havoc, Katie Forbes, Kiera Hogan, Kimberly, Kylie Ray, Lacey Ryan, Madison Rain, Nevaeh, Rachel Ellering, who is just here for one night, but if she does really well, although I don't think it gives us stats for her for a battle royale like this, but if we'll maybe bring her back a couple times, and if she interests us, we'll keep her around. And of course, it then features Rosemary, Susie, Tasha Steeles, Taya Valkyrie, and Tennille Dashwood. So throughout the course of the match, we really focus mostly on a couple of women. Those women being Kylie Ray, Taya Valkyrie, not Kimberly. I know it says Kimberly gets to the final four. It would actually be Rosemary, Havoc, and Susie. Sort of the women that we again hyped up beforehand, but the women that are in that sort of echelon below Jordynne Grace and Deonna Purrazzo. And of course you can see Jordynne Grace is not in this because of course she cannot compete for the Knockouts Championship until Deonna Purrazzo loses the belt. Throughout the course of the match, Havoc will have the most eliminations and will make it the whole way to the final four. And but in the final four, Taya Valkyrie, Kylie Ray, and Susie will actually surprisingly team up and eliminate Havoc, being the biggest threat, being far bigger than all the other women. This will then lead to Kylie Ray coming in third, with Susie eliminating her, and then eliminating Taya Valkyrie swiftly afterwards, having the win in shocking fashion to all three commentators and Kylie Ray and Taya Valkyrie themselves. Susie is your #1 contender for the Knockout title. And as you can see, this is just a segment of Susie, at the front of the ring. Deonna Purrazzo kind of goes to the ramp, raises her title in the air. Susie is ecstatic. Deonna Purrazzo looks a little bit almost like disgusted by the fact that, the virtuoso herself is going to contend against Susie. And of course, then we obviously pan to Kylie Ray, who is quite shocked as well. 30 rating, not bad. This show's not been great so far. Hopefully it'll kick up in the latter half of the show. Eric Young is backstage, having a promo with Melissa Santos. Melissa Santos is interviewing him, asking him some questions about what he wants to do next. Is he done with Rich Swann? Is there going to be another match? What happens? And after a few, Eric Young admitting he's done with Rich Swann, he wants nothing to do with him, bam, Swann comes out of nowhere, jumps EY, and the two of them sort of brawl around backstage. So, again, EY wants to move on, but Swan is attacking him backstage now, runs him off, and he gets the better of this exchange. 36. We might be on a real low impact this week, but it's okay because we're building up most of our show. Chris Sabin and PD Williams enter. Yes, so the reason we took PD Williams is one, he's a Impact / TNA original. Two, when I looked at Chris Sabin's like frequent partners or people he had partnered with, it's really only Alex Shelley that I could see. There was Will Ospreay, but I felt like that was a bit short notice and a weird way to debut someone like Will Ospreay. And also, I think him and Petey Williams have been in stables before. So I went Petey Williams. Also, I feel like I didn't want to give someone this Impact Tag Team title reign, or title defense without earning it, who you would like really notice it on. Like some of the babyfaces, if you give them a TNA Tag Team title run, you would notice. Like it would be an achievement for them. Whereas like Petey Williams I was actually kind of surprised he didn't have one, and he has 2 X Division title runs. But I think if you put this tag title run on him, it doesn't so superbly affect his legacy, and it also doesn't necessarily, fly him up the card or anything. It's not a huge moment, so he's able to just come in here and have this match with Chris Sabin. 52, great match. That should really pull us up. As in a decent match, Petey Williams and Chris Sabin are able to defend the titles, defeating the North, Ace Austin and Madman Fulton, and the Good Brothers. Now, we would actually have it not be elimination, of course, and Sabin will pin Ace Austin in the final. No, actually, he'll pin Ethan Page, sorry. I don't know why it's in that order, but I would have him pin Ethan Page. The reason I didn't drop the titles was because, look, I don't want the Guns' title reign to end by Petey Williams getting pinned. It just didn't make sense. I know we built up this big fatal 4-way, but unfortunately with Alex Shelley being taken by Ring of Honor, they must have jumped us in the ratings. We've not been able to fully fulfill on that, but look, there's always another opportunity to run similar matches to this in the future. And of course, Petey Williams is a substitute I think is alright, and he's not that far off of the rest of the group here. A 41's not bad from Petey Williams, as you can see. With Madman Fulton getting like 43, Sabin a 47, Page a 47. He's not that far behind. Now this is of course technically defense number 3 for Petey Williams and Chris Sabin, but think of it more as like a sort of like the Freebirds rule, where like Petey Williams is coming in and he's just hopped onto the end of this Shelley Sabin tag team title run, which we'll address in the future when Shelley comes back. Hopefully he'll be back next week when he signs his exclusive deal. And there was no complaints about chemistry for Williams or Sabin either. 52 is a great match. Hopefully it's really pulled us up here. Their celebration gets a 41. Pretty good, actually. Video promoting EC3, you're just highlighting his win at Bound for Glory. And then he has a match. A match that was unfortunately worse, but I felt like I couldn't have the new Impact Heavyweight Champion not be in the main event. Sorry if you can hear the noise in the background there. But yeah, I felt like I couldn't have the Impact Heavyweight Champion not be in the main event. So EC3 does pick up a victory in a bit of a showcase match against Willie Mack, allowing Willie Mack to attempt to prove himself against the new champion. 50 for EC3, 48 for Willie Mack, not bad. Unfortunately the match wasn't that good. What dragged it down? Stamina, so the EC3 match was too long. Low experience, odd face-face combination. Lack of associated storyline, that's fair. And inconsistency on EC3's end. So Willie Mack actually didn't really do much wrong in this. But we'll just skip to the final segment, where EC3 is interrupted in his celebrations by Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards comes out and says, look, he wants another match. He needs that match. He is Mr. Impact Wrestling. He is the man around here, and he will win back the Impact Heavyweight Championship, and you can almost see the look of disgust on EC3's face. For the first time, there's almost a moment where he reverts to the old EC3 in his face, and he just looks disgusted by the fact that he is going to have to face Eddie Edwards. But, you know, he smiles after it. Eddie Edwards wants him at the next pay-per-view, which the name of is blanking on me right now. What is the next pay-per-view? Final Resolution, I think, maybe? But they'll have a match at the next pay-per-view. And Eddie shakes EC3's hand, then bam, EC3 hits him below the belt, kicks him below the belt, and then hits him with the top 1%er, and then puts his foot over the chest of Eddie Edwards, raises the belt high, and he will be turning heel. So yes, we have not really went very far with EC3 as a face. It was a complete success, this heel turn. No, I just feel like after the babyface run of Eddie Edwards, I've always personally preferred EC3 as a heel. In game, he's amazing as a heel. Yes, this first Impact show with him as champion is not great, but it's not his fault. The undercard was not great. We're going to fix it next week and build ourselves back up that way, but EC3 as a heel, I think, is the right contrast against Eddie Edwards. And of course, there's more interesting people on the face side at the minute. You know, as a heel, you can only really feud with Eddie for this month. And then there's the next biggest heel is Moose again, which we can't do, or RVD, which both of them have stamina issues, so it couldn't really be a long match. You know, eventually maybe Eric Young. Whereas as a heel, he can feud with Eddie, he can feud with Sami Callihan, Rich Swann, Willie Mack, and just some of the more alternatives for him. And I've always felt like heel EC3 is better. I don't know if Impact would have went that route, but you know, we'll find out on the next episode why EC3 has went this route. Finishing the show, I think we'll have dropped. Nope, we raised popularity in 32 regions. It's a worse show, I think, than some of the recent ones have been. But again, we're going to take what we can get, you know. So there's the unfortunate leg break of Lio Rush. Let me know how you think I should adapt my plans for Lio Rush and Chris Bey now that Lio Rush is injured already. Do you think Chris Bey would go back to Johnny Swinger, having lost Lio Rush seemingly? What do you think of the idea of Moose versus Sami Callihan? What do you think of the tag team title scene, having Petey Williams briefly help Chris Sabin defend the titles until Ike Shelley is back? What do you think of Susie versus Deonna Purrazzo? Where does this leave Kelly Ray and Susie? And of course, what do you think of our new heel Impact champion? And are you more excited for his feud with Eddie Edwards now you know he's a heel? Thank you guys for checking out this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.